Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Dan-A-Plooza. My guest at this time is Shasta Lowe, aka Miss Poppins.
Hello, everyone. How is everyone doing?
We're doing great. We're so glad to have you on the show. I just thought I'd also mention kudos to that graphic from Ignite Entertainment Variety Show and Those in Motion.
Yes, that was actually at our Pittsburgh Fringe festival that we did a couple years ago, and it was one of my favorites for sure.
So let's go ahead and start getting into the questions. So what has been the biggest challenge for you as a performer during this pandemic?
Oh gosh. Okay. Well, so many things pop up into mind. And because, being a performer for me personally was it's something that came naturally, but it also comes with its own challenges in terms of, I think, your own personal views on yourself. It was definitely challenging to get past all of that, that self-image and, oh, what are people going to think? And is it going to be received in the way I'm trying to, put this out there? So I think getting past all of that, it's like, oh, I can breathe now. I feel good about this. I'm feeling, so all these good positive emotions, and then COVID. and it's like, okay, this is brand new. I don't know how to move forward.
Exactly. So has this been what you would like to call kind of like a rebuilding phase, and hopefully you can move forward back to performing in front of people at live venues?
Definitely. Yeah. I think that COVID, and all the negatives that it did bring, I think that it did bring some positives in the sense of it gave people that opportunity to do some reevaluating on, your life and where you're at in your life's path currently. And so I definitely, took that as an opportunity to do some reevaluating and, perfecting my craft and having these new virtual opportunities as well to get on there and learn from other dancers, from other choreographers, and just honing in on my craft at home. It had its own challenges as well. You don't have as much space dancing room as you would in a big, studio. But it definitely works out, and I may not be at my finish line where I want to be yet, but we're trucking forward, and I'm excited.
We're getting some comments right now. We're getting some comments from Ignite. A lot of emojis coming through the chat right now.
Hi, Ignite. I miss you guys. I love you so much.
So your nickname for the troupe is Miss Poppins. How often do people get that confused with Mary Poppins?
Oh gosh, that definitely was the little quirk joke to make at the time. I think when we came up with the name Miss Poppins, and we came up with that because I have a hip hop background, and so in my burlesque performances, you could tell where some of that hip hop was trying to shine through a little bit in my movement. And so and then also at the time, the new Mary Poppins movie was coming out, and so it started out to be as like a little joke, oh, Miss Poppins, and it just kind of stuck.
So there is, just for everybody, there is no supercalifragilisticexpialidocious in Sasha's dance for.
I mean, you can say it.
if the money calls, right?
That's right. I'll just sprinkle a little magic on you.
She'll come down on an umbrella and everything.
Yes, teaspoonful of sugar and all.
Teas and crumpets for all. So, now that you are moving forward as an artist, where do you see yourself in 2022?
In 2022, bringing out the power that COVID has just, and I don't want to give COVID all of that credit though. It's all of those, I feel like during all of those moments of self-reflecting and honing in on your craft and all of that, it's kind of, put this little match at the bottom there that's just waiting to be sparked, and then I'm so excited for me to get back into a place to where all these things that are just dying to come out of me and have been, I'm just ready to put that in the spotlight and let that go in 2022.
Well, we certainly look forward to it. One of the performances that I remember is the Psycho Circus Spectacular. And that's where you debuted your Harley Quinn attire. Can you tell me what you feel about doing that performance in that kind of environment?
It gives me goosebumps, even just you bringing that up, because, what's great about, having this opportunity as, with this interview with you, Dan, that like we can go down memory lane a little bit, because these are all of these performances and shows that, I did with Ignite in these past few years. All of them are exciting in their own ways, but I don't know. Sometimes it's words can't necessarily explain it right. But bringing in the Harley Quinn, that was a big one for me in terms of the outfit. I was excited because it was something cute, it was sassy, and I was able to bring in some attitude that Lord knows I got it in my blood, so it gave me that opportunity to just bring it out and lay it out on the stage. I had my baseball bat ready to go, and so it was a great moment and opportunity to bring out that sexy, sassy, little mouthy person.
Oh yeah. So follow-up question. Did any of the Harley Quinns inspire you to make that choice, be it in the comics, the cartoons, or even in the movie The Suicide Squad?
I would definitely say the Suicide Squad had put Harley Quinn in a whole new light for me. I wasn't ever really big in the comics or anything like that. I did like those superhero movies and stuff. But, I never really had any of Harley Quinn's story until, that Suicide Squad came out. And then I was like, oh, I like her. I like that attitude. Like, that's something that can we bring some of that to me, please? And so having that opportunity to play a Harley Quinn role and let that extra sass come out was so much fun.
Lots of comments in the chat room, a lot of support from Ignite and Branda Davis. So thank you for all the wonderful comments. I hope one day that you'll revisit the Harley Quinn, and that you'll also have a Joker with you, because I think that would be a lot of fun.
I mean, he might be back there now, coming in the door. Sorry,
but we'll see. But it would definitely be interesting to I think redo that character, because there's always a magic between the Joker and Harley Quinn.
I agree, yes. And that would just bring a whole extra level of the story that I was trying to tell before, just bringing it back again with that. I agree completely. You can bring in those extra sparks, and having, two people coming together for a duo or anything like that just brings extra energy and extra spark. And of course you want to choose, your partner appropriately. Everybody brings their own energy to the table, so you must mix appropriately for sure.
Exactly. Ignite, Harley Quinn's return, definitely. So yes. Lots of comments in the chat. I myself, I would probably be the Riddler or Penguin.
Right? Yeah. No way. We can get you on there doing something sassy.
Riddle me this, riddle me that. You want to see Dan in 2020? How about that?
Oh yeah. I love it.
Yeah, thank you. I've always enjoyed. That's one of my favorites is the Riddler, and I've always enjoyed. I don't know if you've ever seen Batman Returns, Danny DeVito as the Penguin.
No, I haven't.
Oh, it's great. Danny DeVito does a great job as the Penguin, and Chester Copperpot and Michelle Pfeiffer played Catwoman.
Ooh, nice. That's another good one, Catwoman.
Oh
I
yeah.
like that one too. So many ideas sparking.
Some people said, yes, Dan, do it, book it.
You got Ignite behind you.
So now that we're starting to fall into October, which is a lot of people's favorite holiday and month, as well as Halloween, is there like a certain genre of Halloween films or anything that you like around this time of year?
Oh gosh, all of them, honestly. Halloween is definitely one of my favorite times of the year too. And I've been exposing my boyfriend here to some new Halloween movies that he's never really seen before. We just got done watching the Scream trilogies the other night, which I guess is the fourth one, right? Those were my favorites growing up. I loved the Scream movies. But I would say behind that would be Nightmare on Elm Street. Gosh, it's like there's so many to choose from. I don't know which ones to pick.
Nightmare on Elm Street is good because it has the perfect amount of horror and kind of cheesy humor to go with it for the time frame it came out. Yeah, I think that's what makes it so successful. Robert Englund is just amazing. I saw him like a couple weeks ago at a convention. And really? He did a Freddy Krueger line. Every person who came and did a pro photo op with him. And he would do the classic, like he would turn it on, you know. It's not like he had to, but he did it anyway.
That's awesome.
Just to make that. And I have met Nev Campbell, Skeet Ulrich, Matthew Lillard, and who else? Randy. So I've met like 4 of the main Scream actors.
I had saw on your social media where you had met Randy from Scream, the first one, and I was like, oh, I'm so jealous.
He laughed for a very long time, so I assume he was having a good time already. But
yeah, I'm sure that makes sense to me.
A lot of fun. But I think those movies are perfect around them. I don't know if you remember, but like in '96 when Scream came out, everybody wanted to be Ghostface for Halloween, like including me.
My little brother was one of them too.
Then you look around, you're all like, oh, we're all the same.
Right? I remember when all those Ghostface costumes were everywhere the first year, and then it was like the following Halloween, they came out with a new Ghostface mask where it had it came with like a knife, and in the knife handle was a pump, and you could pump fake blood,
fake blood right
down the Ghostface mask. Yeah, and so my brother was so excited to get that in his arsenal.
Yep, the army of Ghostface. And here's something that was interesting. Do you think that even with Halloween that and for future maybe Ignite that you would ever consider doing like a Hocus Pocus kind of?
Oh, guaranteed. Everybody in Ignite is a Hocus Pocus fan, Hocus Pocus fanatic, for sure. So I can absolutely see that coming. We'll be sprinkling in our own little ingredients into the cauldron and see what we come up with. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned. I will only if I can come as Billy Butcherson.
Okay, I think we can make that happen.
That's one of my favorite characters in the movie.
Yeah, he was a good one. Mine was probably the cat.
Oh, yeah. What's interesting is Jason Marsden. He did the voice of Binks, and he also does the voice of Max Goof from Goofy movie.
Nice.
So I think he's having a Hocus Pocus reunion the 30th, virtually on GalaxyCon. So they'll do like a whole question and answer thing.
Oh, cool.
So should check that out if you like. They have the cat, they have Max, Allison, the bullies.
Wow.
Danny. So
that's great. Yeah, that was another favorite movie of mine growing up was the Goofy movie. I loved that one.
Oh my goodness. It's such a great cheesy movie, but it relates to you because I feel like we have that parent that would do stuff to it and not intentionally embarrass us, but it would they would still kind of do that, where they would sing, and you'd be like, not on the road where everyone can see us.
I know, like stop it. They're looking.
This hiding. But it is a classic. I loved all the characters, even Powerline. I think that's a great character, and I feel like we kind of all remember what it was like not maybe fitting in high school.
Yeah.
And being able to relate. Let's see. Someone wrote, there's a song from a Goofy movie that's so good, I can't think of the name of it.
They did have a couple good songs in there. Like I remember being a kid.
Seeing Eye to Eye.
Huh?
That's one of my favorites, Seeing Eye to Eye with Powerline and Goofy and Max.
Yeah, towards the end of the movie.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. I remember just getting goosebumps as a kid, just watching him perform in that concert, and it would just get me all pumped up and ready to go.
Someone wrote, yeah, Seeing Eye to Eye. That's what it is. It gave somebody else nightmares. Oh, well.
Oh my goodness.
So, but yeah, it's just a phenomenal movie. But so we were talking earlier, and you were talking to me about how you're interested in the paranormal. Can you tell me how that interest started for you?
Sure. Okay. So my dad and I, I've been into the scary movies. Like I said, Halloween is definitely my favorite, time of the year. It always has been. And, growing up, my dad and I, he just always watched those kind of shows. And then I would always just go right along in there and join him, and it was, it started out with Ghost Hunters, and then Ghost Adventures came out, and all these other, it was when paranormal really started to, get big in terms of being on TV. And so we were watching that stuff all the time. And then I even, my senior year of high school, I did my big senior project on the paranormal. And I remember my teacher, she loved it because I was, showing them information and stuff that they'd never really, basically turning the spectrum a little bit and seeing if they can view the paranormal, from a different perspective, if that makes sense, and not just viewing it as, oh, it's ghost stories and, people don't really relate to that kind of stuff. They just think, oh, it's a bunch of nonsense, But then I had a few experiences of my own also growing up. At one point I was about 14 and I was having a sleepover at the time. I only had one friend over, whereas my brother had like 6 people. But
not fair.
I just remember pulling up those covers and something had grabbed my ankle, and it grabbed it with such force. Like I felt every single finger that was on that hand that grabbed me. And I jumped off that bed and I looked everywhere under the bed. I looked everywhere. There was nobody in there, no boys coming in to mess with me. I was alone. And I was like, and that just kind of piqued my interest in terms of that house that I was living in at the time. And so I've had several other experiences after the fact and just done tons of, it piques my interest. So if I see something paranormal on TV, you're guaranteed I'm about to watch it.
Someone's commenting about leprechauns.
Oh, God. It's like Jeffrey Steele, guaranteed. He knows I can't stand leprechauns. They freak me out.
Not a fan of Warwick Davis and the Leprechaun, is Sasha.
No. All those creepy leprechaun movies. Oh my God, they just give me the heebie-jeebies. I
can't. I will share. I had a paranormal experience at the lunatic asylum, and I went there late at night. It was stormy and rainy, and somehow when I was in the male ward where there was a lot of activity and a lot of brutality, I bit my lip. Like I don't remember doing it. It was just like standing there, and like I bit it, and there was like a chunk missing. So there was blood like on the lip. And then people are like, why did you do that? I'm like, I just didn't do it for kicks,
Right.
And then people are like, oh, we got to record that and everything. I go, oh, I found my lip.
That's creepy.
It was like, and then like there's like a little bit sliver like of it gone, and then they put it in their record book.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, I had a weird and interesting experience here. So I live down here in Weston now. I've lived here for going on a year now. Come down here, to move in with my boyfriend. And unfortunately, I know. He's coming giving me the eye. But so unfortunately, last December, I had a seizure. And, we were, of course, all the tests and stuff that they make you go through and everything after the fact. I was going through, I had to wear all these wires and crazy things on my head for a weekend straight. And so I went up to the hospital, got all these crazy these things coming out of my head, wires everywhere. I had a box on my head. And then I come home and I just change into like a baggy t-shirt, baggy pants, I want to be comfortable as possible if I'm going to have this stuff on my head.
Right.
Well, so then, if you were, and I can imagine, so I live here in Weston, in town, and this town just kind of comes with this energy.
Yeah, this mystic aura. Mystic aura.
Very much so, yeah. So this town very much kind of just has that heaviness on it, just being here. And I can feel that. And so I can imagine, me wearing these white collared baggy clothes, something that would look like a hospital gown type thing, with all these crazy wires on my head. If I were a ghost hanging out in the corner and you would have turned and looked at me, you would have thought I was a patient too, So I was laying in bed watching TV, and I just got this sensation on my arm that I just got poked with a needle. And I was like, and I just kind of blew it off because trust me, weird things happens around here all the time. So I just blow it off like, oh, it's just another ghosty, no mind, you're not bothering me. So I didn't really pay no mind to it. But then about 5 or 10 minutes later, my arm was itchy. And so I just happened to look down, and there was, and I can't explain how real this was. it was a Band-Aid outline right in the middle and in the bend of my arm, where I would have gotten stuck with a
Yeah.
needle. And I can't, like I said, I can't express to you how real this felt. That it literally felt like I got injected with a needle, and it was like they were trying to help me. Oh, she's a patient. She's in bed. Let's give her some medicine, kind of thing. And I even called Jeff after the fact, because he's very understanding about that. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I that was one to where I couldn't just so easily brush it off at that point.
Yeah. I think my friend, when we were at the lunatic asylum in the kitchen, she felt someone tug on her arm, and she started screaming rather loud and everything like that.
Oh no.
Yeah, so we've had to leave, and I remember we went into this like outer area, and don't you just love when friends are like, you go first, and you're like,
right.
no.
I'm usually that friend that goes first.
You're like, we didn't even draw straws. This is not gonna happen. But it was definitely so we went and like we opened this door and we were going out, and the first thing that came was like a bat. So like I just went, and then behind me, and I'm just like
Let's calm the chaos. It's okay.
Exactly. It goes, it's a good thing I went first. That
Yeah.
would have gotten all of you.
Yeah, I'm usually that friend that goes first. I remember a group of us from Ignite went, haunted house hopping last year, and I was 9 times out of the 10 the one in the front, holding hands with everybody else behind me, dragging them through. But it's a good time.
I'm usually the guy at the end making sure everyone still goes.
Yeah.
I'm like, push, come on.
Get your butt up there.
I'm stuck in the fog for 20 minutes. Well, we're going to go ahead and end shortly. Is there anything else you'd like to promote before we end?
I think the only thing that I want to, have an opportunity to say here, is that if anybody out there is, you're wanting to perform and you're not necessarily sure, how your performance may be perceived, squash that. Just hone in on your craft, spend some time with you and with your craft and just perfecting that and making it, and not even just perfecting it, but taking it to where you want to take it on all levels. And, just put all of those, your own opinions and others' opinions behind you. And once you can just accept you 110%, I know that was a challenge for me. I had my own insecurities that I had to get past. And once I got past those, it was just this aha moment and this moment where I could breathe and just be proud of the person that I was becoming and the artist and performer I was becoming, and just lay it all out there on the stage. Because once you step off that stage, it's like, okay, I feel good about that. I love that. And I'm very proud to have put that on the stage. So go and do you, babes.
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and end our broadcast. Stay tuned at 7. We're going to have our guest, Sean McArdle, who's a graphic artist. He's going to be talking about The Fuhrer and the Tramp. And our final guest will be Morgan Ziva, who's an actress and a model, at 9. So everyone have a good day.
And I want to thank you, Dan, for this opportunity, and good luck on all your interviews, and you're doing an awesome job, honestly.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Bye.